Hey guys, welcome back.
Today's video,
As you can see from the title, we are essentially gonna be going through a couple of comments and the general sentiments that we have received for the past couple of days, ever since I've made quite a couple of different Cyrene videos from the early access. This situation has been basically slowly cooking in the pot for, I think, ever since Wednesday when I first launched it. And as of the time of this recording right now, it's gonna be 5 days later. So without further ado, I'm gonna be kind of splitting this up into 3 main categories of responses. And starting off is gonna be the funny ass, right? So for this category of responses, you're safe. There will be no punch. There will be no nothing. This is the general, casual, public wave of riding on the Cyrene memes, right? Good luck on the Hoyoshill light cone boost. It's Hoyoshill's world, we're living in it. Let's see if I'm out this charger by the end of this video. This is a 46-minute video for the main channel. Good luck on your E1 trade boost. If you laugh, I asked Cyrene when her hour will be lady. She just smiled and said in 2 to 3 business days. 45 minutes is all it takes for Cyrene to charge your ultimate /J partner blast. Right? So if you're under this category of people, I forgive you. There's nothing to forget. It's fine. It's good. It's funny, right? The memes are genuinely funny. I don't really care about it, right? I don't think anybody should care about it because they are one of the funniest memes we have seen in a long time in the HSR community. I think ever since Global Passive, I don't think Global Passive had a meme as strong as Cyrene. So these saved. Now we're gonna get on into 2 categories of doom posting. You know how the community, okay, not everyone, but the general sentiments of the community, they are not happy with the way that I presented my videos or how Cyrene is going to be. It kind of boils down to this whole niche versus generalist thing. Right? I think this is like one of the biggest points of contention, which is whether or not Cyrene is going to be like a general support. She's going to fall off in version 4, you know, does she work with other units, non-crowds, all that kind of stuff. So I figured, why not do this as like a similar flair? And I split this into the general doom posting as well as the niche doom posting, right? So just a couple of receipts over here. I'm gonna get onto it in a little bit later to explain it in greater details, but let's just take a look at a couple of receipts, right? So for general doom posting, we have the classic, right? The classic. I prefer an honest review like Brax. So sorry, I have to unsub. The number 24 hours deck is already enough for me to not prove her whenever the team is used. They use E6 Cyrene with a best installed team on special program. Clearly showed how weak she is. The strongest thing that she brings is HP inflation. It's the biggest skip ever. All this only for Hyacinth to actually carry this one. Just pull Hyacinth instead of fraud reading, yo. These videos were age badly. Shout out to my old. This is, I think, almost a 1-year sub. Exceptional. The Mr. Diverty exceptional. This comment section is a joke. Okay, this is actually not part of the doom posting, but I just wanted to show the sentiments. First, they called Cyrene predatory and greedy from Hoyoshill because she's an unplayable at E0. But when they say that she's proved that that's not true, they changed the goal so she isn't that big of an upgrade. Damn, Cyrene defender needs 200 speed. Man, as if that is a requirement, isn't insane to hit 200 speed. One of the most doom poster as well as Cyrene is that she's very anti-zero cycle, just like I found, which for 99% of the player base, even the ones optimizing W, getting 0 cycle or not doesn't matter as long as they get full stars. And the only bragging right gamer for 0 cycle will be the king of AA. Exceptional, 100% agree. See, she's not mid. Proceeds to use her in the only team she works well in at E0, where I literally tested her out with every single Chrysos air in my 46 minutes, right? Exceptional. Hell nah. First video, I totally disagree with Pokke. Sure, she's an upgrade, but except Caster's team, she's just not worth it. Her buffs are just a minute upgrade over the current best result teams. Also, yeah, I agree with the coming of 4.x, there might be supports, but if they decide to pull supports for DPS like Final Mighty, then they sure be 100% better than her. Better pull Hyacinth, Tribi, or Cypher if you really want an upgrade. All in all, if you have Cazares and love her, pull Cyrene. Apart from her, she's garbage. Her buffs are not any big of a change. Hell, she'd be useless in 3.8 itself when the MOC buff changed to break. Most disappointing unit in HSR ever. Most expensive unit in HSR needs 4-5 stars to get going. exceptional. Just say for Sunday rerun, Cyrene is not even as good as him, especially for non-Cryos Hair's team, while Sunday with 3 DHPD can ensure he's a permanent tier 0 unit. Exceptional. Please, hold up. Please do not pull for anything in 3.7 unless you're fine accepting that they will be inferior to the new option starting from 4.0. You can say this is true for every patch, but that's just not. Early patch units generally have significantly longer lifespans, especially sustains and supports. With the exception of Rame and Sunday, late patch units tends to be traps, and it doesn't look like we're getting a Rame Sunday equivalent this time. It's crazy for him to say Cyrene at E0 is fine, only then to follow up and say, but getting her E2 makes her actually playable with units she is meant for. Like, bro, don't bait folks into thinking she is playable by E0, because that's just saying struggling is fun XD. So those are the generalist doom posing sentiments that have been gotten for a couple of comments from YouTube. And but wait, there's even more. And now we're gonna go on into the niche doom posing, right? The niche. So one of the niche doom posing is she is bad with non-Cryos air unit. Actually, chat, you know what? I'm actually starting to get pissed off, so I'm gonna pause on request, because the more I read this, I'm actually the bad with non-Cryos. Cyrene is terrible without Amphoria's team. Now try it with non-Cryos air team and MrPokke. Surely she's gonna be good, right? Surely she's not gonna have problem with recollection stat, right? Surely she's not gonna need that sweet E2, right? Surely she can replace some supports in some non-Cryos air team comp, right? Okay, exceptional. Bro, all I wanna see is gameplay without the hairs. Okay, simple. If you're able to do a 44-minute showcase, then why not just do one of 3.0 that isn't the Cryos hairs? How that can be hard to show us. Same with all other supports this patch. Run tricycle team comp if you have to. There's not a singular showcase of her with older or newer DPS. Let's see her performance without the hairs. Simple. It really can't be that hard. We are working with what we have now in our accounts. Both new and old and new players don't have CH DPS. Now try it with non-Cryos air team and MrPokke. Surely she's... Oh wait, it's the same guy. My bad, it's the same guy. The support that need an entire Amphoria's team to support her, LOL. Okay, it still doesn't change the fact that she needs Cryos airs to work. Having one non-Cryos air remembers credit in the team, but hurts a lot in ultimate regeneration. I could put RMC to get the 6 recollection, but that's assuming MC won't be used in version 4. The solution would be just to put a missing Cryos air. In that case, RMC will be useful outside of Cyrene. For now, it wouldn't be a problem because the environment shifted to version 4, but when it does, my MC will struggle. It's frustrating that she needs a full Cryos air member to work around the ultimate regeneration. As soon as he made this video, I knew he was gonna slap DHPD in Hyacinth. Okay, so this was where I was testing if if Cyrene really needs Hyacinth, where I showcase of DHPD plus next Aglia, so it's fine on. I knew he would slap DHPD in Hyacinth's place, even though it's the same thing. And once again, not a single team with less than 3 Cryos here, and not a single team with no other Cryos, just to see your general support DPS capabilities. Either you only bound Cryos for her to be usable, or you break. We close to agenda posting. Small PV, right? So these are the general sentiments that we're going to be seeing from bad with non-Cryos air teams. And I'm pretty sure this is not the first time you see in my video. You can see from any other content creators video on the general sentiments in Reddit or Discord as well. So that's going to be there. And another niche doom posting from the Cyrene doom poster is going to be the 0 cycles. The 0 cycle doom posting. Blood has all the units and can't even clear wave 1 fast enough. Must be a stupid and greedy issue. Not a single 0 cycle, even in mono remembers. Yes, still Glazer. Yet no one is falling for this propaganda. Is my eye deceiving me? Did I read this correctly? Side 1 with a premium team need 1 cycle, and side 2 with 2 cycle? What the f? So what if a free-to-play player, right? Very, very important. What if a free-to-play player wants to use Cyrene? If a free-to-play player is able to clear MOC with 3 cycles of casual free-to-play, it's not gonna be any better. Smile, smile, smile. Literally, Cyrene is not free-to-play friendly, especially if you only have 2 Cryos there. Imagine running casuals, RMC, Rame, and Gallagher. Swapping Rame with Cyrene is probably gonna make the team need even more cycle to clear. Love, love, love. Oh my god, my free-to-play ass. How can anyone as a free-to-play even pull for Cyrene? Exceptional. Alright, this is a long ass episode. Let's take it down a little bit. Everyone saying this pushes the Cyrene agenda is kind of insane. E2 Final is getting against so much benefit because of his form is inherently stronger. Popping Idolence without banning I because a 0 cycle isn't possible without proving the effort. Increase the synergy with the characters, especially Final Manipulator 0 cycle be useful. It's kind of mistake. If you want to MrPokke has really lost the plot with these idlers recently. Testing needs to be done at a E0 as one baseline, which I did for all of the guys that I've done, except for the 0 cycle to kind of show how the 0 cycle even work, or even E0 as 0, especially if you're running an E0 as 1 already. No, because it's unrelatable for free to play. A free to play, right? And there it is. Free to play deserves no idleness, right? We are free to play players. Of course, we shouldn't get idleness, no light codes, no idleness, no bitches, no relics, lose every single. But because most free-to-plays simply don't have idleness, right? Most of the showcases other than the finals I also use way more than just E1 S1, getting support from E1 S1. I understand one of the proof which I agree, but in the time when everyone's downplaying a showcase, it doesn't really show much. Okay, so that's gonna be there for a couple of the 0 cycle showcase, specifically for the 0 cycle. And I believe this is gonna be the final point, which is the shells, right? MrPokke is a shell, and I've got so many of this. It's kind of crazy, right? Keep shelling, bro, and look how she fall off real quick in version 4.x. Maybe not immediately, but sure as shit not long either. How much is Hoyo paying you to say this? How much did he paying you to shell for her, right? He's he's just trying so hard to hell. Why is blah 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 very very good? This guy really needs Hoyo to pay for his bills, not beating the Hoyoshill acquisition. 3 to 4 cycle fighter, Mr. Shelky. This is looking glazing like his life depending, or at least a juicy check from Daddy Hoyoverse, the biggest Cyrene defender ever. Yup, is true Hoyo build, Dawei's strongest soldier. Exceptional, right? So those are gonna be a couple of sentiments that we've been getting from the Cyrene Doom poster community. So I need to split this for the general Doom posting and the niche Doom posting, just like how I think a lot of people just understand this from like a generalist support as well as niche support. But wait, there's more, because MrPokke has actually made it to not 1, not 2, but 3 different Reddit posts for both the Cyrene main community, the Star Rail Station community, and another yet a Cyrene main community, right? So I took a couple of the extra bonus 7 from the Reddits, right? That's to add a little bit. This is my favorite. Kind of rage bait. Edit. It wasn't a rage bait, and it's kind of accurate. Absolute cinema. Exceptional. People in this sub are now calling Pokke a paid show when he has the exact same opinion as Goba. Absolutely hilarious. Agenda posting and calling Arrow doesn't share the same perspective takes priority for them. Exceptional. Exceptional. This is a hell of a lot of thingy. You can kind of judge me for it, but the important part is this: MrPokke is annoying, but he's 99% usually right, by the way. MrPokke is 100%, right? It's literally 100%.
The greatest unrelatable Honkai star rail player that has ever lived.
While even being a self-proclaimed show, Goba said the exact same thing about Cyrene. The dooming is over-exaggerated due to the fact that everyone doing was just watching beta tests. They don't know how to play Cyrene properly, blah, 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 blah. TLDR, MrPokke is always exceptional. He has a lot of valid points, put more preliminary work than most of his usual video. A lot of what he says is in line with other serious sources. Try compare his to other serious TC and tests. There are also points of disagreement. For example, Goba and him for the final case. Overall, while MrPokke does some tests, he is an entertainer first. Are you not entertained? Smash that like and subscribe button right now so you are entertained, right? While he's right more often than not, he can be a little bit excessive. Fuck! And of course, he has his bias and blind spot. Exceptional. Exceptional. Okay, I have no idea what this guy said. To the point where it got removed. Probably something to do with KYS or something about MrPokke. Because he said something here. It got removed. And that, what do you mean it's a 1% man? So probably something to do with he plays that shit, right? So because this guy's like, he plays just fine. Let's say he isn't that good. Wouldn't that make the showcase even more viable? The average HSR player isn't min-maxing able to get it once. So I'm guessing what this comment said is probably, oh my god, he sucks at the game. He's a casual. He doesn't know how to play the game. So don't trust him, right? So I think that's probably what is. And it has to be really, really bad to get removed, right? So that is going to be that. Okay, another one that is very, very good. This is my favorite. So this is basically in line with the Goba thing about MrPokke being a paid show. He is 100% getting paid to show Cyrene for proper testing and no bias. Watch Goba. He's the GOAT as always. Turns out, Guobas also said she's very good, but needs highs, and the only difference between them is the final point, blah, 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 blah. But he did test Cyrene versus you. Do you even watch the video? Are you blindly hating? Him and Guoba has the literal same opinion. Cyrene is just good, bada boom, bada bang, and unfortunately, MrPokke is just not very well liked in the HSR community where I'm gonna be talking good stuff about Cyrene. So right then we have another one over here, very, very nice. Let's zoom in. Pokke abandoned theory crafting on 1.x. He's purely engagement farming now. It's true, but people can't accept this. Blah, blah, blah. Great way to farm for gacha YouTubers. They gotta make a living. The Guoba dude already gave an answer. MrPokke spent a few hours rambling on stream. Blah, 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 blah. Basically, blah, 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 that is just sad. MrPokke doesn't know anything about meta or testing. He's consistently wrong with his takes. I wouldn't even pretend to take any of his opinions or testing as true. Exceptional. And then we do. Okay. Shout out to Hoyoshill of humanity. In the sea of rage, angry people trying to, oh my god, MrPokke is the worst person. I gotta shout out to Hoyoshill of humanity. MrPokke is my unofficial husband. But seriously, I like his content. He also does disagree with Cyrene, but of course he does tests and math to back up his opinion. He usually does make content geared towards optimal theory, and when a new creator comes, you can probably edit 30 videos dedicated to them. I know some people don't like his content that much because he's kind of a jokester, but that's why I like him, because it's actually entertaining to watch and at least knows how to play the game. Hoyoshill of humanity, if you're watching this video, I appreciate you standing up for MrPokke, because the goal of a bit is stand up for MrPokke, especially when it comes to the Cyrene situation. I've got one more in here. So these are basically a few of the, if not hundreds of over comments that has been going on in the past 4 to 5 days. And at some point, you just gotta admit, right? It's like one guy's, right? I'm basically screenshotting one guy comments, right? Don't get one guy. And I really am a very firm believer when it comes to never ever get one guy, especially as a content creator, because you will always find somebody that will say something against you, right? But at this current point of time, when there are enough one guys with very, very similar sentiments about the way that it's perceived, whether it be it for myself personally or like the statements for Cyrene, then it gets to a point where it's not really going to be a one guy scenario anymore. And I do want to say that, well, these are not really everyone's sentiment, right? Because all these things that I showed, if this is what everyone thinks of Cyrene, then I'm done. The video will be like mass dislike by like 90% dislike ratio. I would say it's more so probably like 10-ish, 15% of the population, which although is not the majority, it is still a considerable percentage of people, even now, that are disagreeing with either myself as an individual or Cyrene herself as a unit. So I do appreciate that most of you guys do take the effort to watch the video. And this whole situation really kind of got on my nerve. And I thought very long before I decided to commit and say, you know what, I'm going to make this video. Because it's not just that I spend my time, like an insane amount of time, by the way, to test out all of these different things for Cyrene, more so than any other units that I've ever done, to my highest possible effort to make the guy as high quality as possible, not just once, but I did like for 4 different Cyrene videos, trying to cover all of my bases, giving you guys a little bit better idea of what she is. And it's also not because I'm upset, not because that I'm getting called a shill, right, grifter, paid by Dawei strong, all that kind of stuff. I am only allowed to say like good things about Cyrene when most people that originally had bad things to say about her probably just have never ever tried her ever. And the moment you see anyone else that actually tried her, for example, like Guoba, right? Guoba is an excellent CC. We literally have the same exact sentiments, but MrPokke is a shield, right? MrPokke is the one getting paid off by Dawei. MrPokke is the one that's trying to force an agenda because, how can this guy say so many good things about Cyrene, right? But the reason why I'm kind of this worked up and I want to talk about this is because at this point in time, the community, not everyone, right? Not everyone. I don't want to overgeneralize, but the community of like Doom posers, when it comes to anything related to HSR, as long as it fits your agenda, it doesn't matter what anyone else says. It doesn't matter how much effort, how much time, how much resources they invested into like a specific topic. As long as it doesn't fit their agenda, there will be a billion different reasons to say, why Cyrene is bad. It doesn't even have to be Cyrene, right? It just so happens that Cyrene is one of the examples. She's just the unit that made this super obvious that in this community, if it doesn't fit, anything is on the table as long as you can discredit whatever they make, right? And it's okay, respectfully, it's so easy to just go into the C server. I can just make bro, I can just spend 10 minutes, let an AI play by itself. Oh my god, Cyrene is unplayable. You have to get an E2. You have to get an E2. You literally, nobody should be putting for Cyrene. Cyrene can get power crap, right? Just pull for the version 4, pull for the next version update. Why would you even put a $300 bow skin? The general internet, not even just HSR, the internet rewards with a lack of what's the word? It rewards sensationalized content. You could tell me I'm wrong, you could tell me I'm right, but generally speaking, as long as you make it like a big hoo-ha, you sensationalize it. Logic and facts and time taken to make any content is completely secondary. If it fits what the general public is pushing for, you will tend to get a lot of internet support, because most people that touch on these topics, doesn't have to be HSR, they don't know as much. Like, nobody will play HSR like thousands of hours to try to discredit or prove whether or not Cyrene is bad, good, mid, whatever it's gonna be, right? They will just see the Jujutsu Kaisen memes, right? Mid, Gojo Satoru. Oh my god, you were mid. It's so easy to just say, yep, she's mid, yep, she's mid, and just keep saying, yep, mid, and you just get the job done. And I feel like the comparison of making like one of my most worked on, right, highest amount of time, highest quality for not just myself but also my editor, we both spend a insane amount of time trying to make this Cyrene thing, versus Cyrene is unplayable. Hoyo has ruined Cyrene. E2 Cyrene is the worst thing that happened to HSR. If you do not have yourself Cyrene, you are literally battering your account because you can just say a version 4. It is so easy to make like 10 different videos in the amount of time they would have taken me to make a single detailed video guide about Cyrene. And it doesn't matter. You know why? Because most casuals, nobody would care if they know how Cyrene works. They legit just don't care, right? As long as you fit into the agenda where, okay, she's mid, fit into the memes, right? Fit into it's funny, it's cool, it's very, very easy to just go with the flow. Don't stand out. And because if you do, you are known as the shill. How can this guy say when so many different beta testers, so many different community sentiments for like the past 2-3 months, they all said that she's mid, and now suddenly this guy all of a sudden put out nowhere and said, oh my god, she's actually good. It's so contradictory that they will just refuse to accept, even if you spend all the time testing all this kind of stuff. And like, it's like, what's the point, you know? It really is like, what's the point? So my bottom line is, right, just prove what we want. I think we can call the title of this video just skip Cyrene. I'll work on it, right? Just prove what we want, right? You want to skip Cyrene? Skip Cyrene. You want to get an E2? You want to get an E0? Get it. You want to skip for version 4? Whatever you want, right? Because for MrPokke, right? For MrPokke, there are zero difference, right, as to whether or not you have Cyrene or don't have Cyrene, right? I'm not sure if you guys know this. MrPokke don't get paid at all based on how many people pull Cyrene. If Cyrene gets $1 billion in revenue or $1 in revenue, it literally makes zero difference to me as a content creator. I literally could not give a flying fuck if Cyrene is in your account. There's 0 point. Like, Darwin doesn't call me, okay, this is not a sales job, right? I don't get a commission for selling Cyrene to you guys. And it's really so fucking annoying because this is just one of those instances where I've been called this thing for like a very fucking long time. And I just never really talked about this for so long because it's never gotten this bad. But because of this one video, when the sentiments that I've been saying and all the testing, and things I've did is the exact same as anyone else. Like, for example, like Goba, right? Or anyone else that has been doing this, it gets to the point where, why would I even bother doing all this? Where I'm just gonna be ending up getting called a shill, getting paid off, trying to dissuade, right, pushing an agenda, establishing anything, and I do all these testing. I even list out the flaws for Cyrene, and it's like super fucking simple, bro. It's really damn fucking simple. If you don't want to pull for version 3 anymore, you want to go for version 4, then nobody's forcing you to pull Cyrene. You don't have to keep forcing it out, like, oh my god, she's mid with the Kratos hairs, you need Kratos. Like, what's the point? If you don't want to play version 3, then just don't pull, right? There's literally no hard feelings. Like, if this same sentiment happened to any other niche support, nobody would be betting an eye. But it's just because of this Cyrene thing being blown like such a big hoo-ha, and especially because she's like Eliza and everything, everybody is just, oh my god, if you pull for Cyrene, it's literally because you're just breaking your account, right? Like, why would you even pull for this unit when like version 4 is going to come out in the future? So, it is pretty discouraging. And I feel like for HSR, they kind of did a move that they kind of never did before, which is to shove it in your face that, hey, look, this is a niche support for your Chrysos heirs. This is a vertical investment for any of y'all that do play and intend to play your version 3 DPS going into version 4. And the moment this niche support thing gets brought up, everybody is like, oh my god, bro. Niche support. Niche. My free-to-play casual 6 different DP. How can I pull for a niche support when immediately after a while, she's just gonna be unplayable with a version 4? Because guess what? What is the meta for version 4? It's gonna be the version 4 units. Alright? You don't need Cyrene, you don't need MrPokke, you don't need anyone to tell you. If you have been playing this game for like anything longer than the past 6 months, you will know that the meta in HSR is just always gonna be the next version. And it's never gonna change, right? There's never gonna be a situation where one day the version 4 meta is the version 3 units. It will just legit not happen with or without Cyrene. So, if you think that she's gonna be fucking worthless by version 4 because she only bars version 3, then so be it. Just skip her. Because you know yourself you're gonna be pulling for the version. You're gonna be chasing meta, right? You always want the best possible clearing team, right? Then you don't need me to tell you, okay, the best possible team in version 4 is gonna be the fucking version 4 team, right? And when version 4 comes out though, do you know what happens to all of those pulls that you have done in version 3? What do you think happens to you, or rather your account, for every single one of the units that you have pulled in version 3 when version 4 comes out? Does it magically get refunded? Do you think like it's like a League of Legends patch update, right? One day Ryze gets buffed, next day Master Yi gets nerfed. You know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna change my main from Ryze to Master Yi 0993. I'll just change my. You're playing a gacha game. It's not gonna work that way, right? You never ever get back the amount of pulls that you will be getting from investing your resources into any unit you pull in a gacha game. There's no such thing, right? And of course, if you're thinking about version 4 best in slot meta, it's not gonna be Cyrene, because Cyrene's role is not to make the version 4 units good. It is to bridge your version 4, or rather your version 3, into version 4, right? The problem with this mindset of constantly changing the fucking meta, especially as a free-to-play or like whatever casual it's gonna be, is that if you keep thinking, okay, I want the best meta unit for that version, right? It's obviously gonna be version 4, but what happens to all those strategies that you spent, right? What if those players, if you have invested in Casuris, right, a Casuris team, you invested in a My Day team, and a Nexta team, Aglaia, whatever it's gonna be, right? Whatever you invested like 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever these costs are gonna be, what is gonna happen when you say, okay, you know what? Vertical support, I'm just gonna go on into the next meta and the next meta and next. I will always just keep chasing the new meta over and over again. You will always tell that if you keep this up, it's just gonna lead to your account looking like you have all these units at half degrees of like investment, and then you go into version 4, and eventually one day you are gonna run out of strategies. You can't keep pulling new meta every single time, especially not as a casual and especially not as a free play, because you are gonna run out, right? And the reason why I am so adamant on this topic, and I'm trying to get like so many of, okay, especially if you're a casual, if you're watching my content, is because I have played HSR since day one, right? Literally day one of Honkai. I've been playing this pretty much every single day. And the meta between version is always gonna be the same. The best meta is that version's meta. So, for example, if you are somebody that invested into version 3, which I'm assuming that if you're watching this video right now, you have been playing this game for a while, right? If you are a new player, you just started HSR, then there's no point, right? You can start saving up, you can start procuring all your pools or strategies, you can just instantly pivot straight into version 4 because you lost nothing. You didn't pull a single shit in version 3. So instantly when you go into version 4, you have to worry about it, right? But you can't say that for so many hundreds of thousands of other players that already played through version 3. They have spent their cost, right? You have spent on your E2 Final, E2 Meta, your Casuaries, your whatever item is going to be your Egg. You already bought, right? You have already bought all these units. You can't just refund them and like, yo, can you refund all my version 3? Hit me up with a brand new version 4 meta so that I can chase meta and get the fastest clearing 0 cycle. It just doesn't work that way, right? So to kind of give this example, right? Can you restart from scratch all over again if you wanted to? So if you skipped Fuke for version 3, right? If you are somebody that started at the end of version 2, or rather in version 2, you are playing Super Break, right? You are a Super Break ring, right? Would you skip Fuke for version 3? Because version 3 has no Super Break DPS at all, right? So why should I pull Fuke for a meta that's going to be going away when version 3 is just going to be the brand new version 3 meta, right? Let's just say you skip Fuke for either D, Herta, or Aglaia. They are both E0 DPS. You will never need Fuke to run with them, but they're still going to be, okay, back then, when they first launched, they were the best clearing DPS. As per every single fucking version, right? Every single time a brand new banner, especially a brand new DPS drops out, they will always be the best performing with little to no vertical investment because number one, they don't even exist, and number two, the environment is basically suited for them to clear the best of their abilities, right? So if you were to do this, you pulled for DRL Aglaia. You ran out of pulls, right? You have no more, and you kind of have to skip Tribi because you went all in for a 3.0 unit, right? And you see your anniversary unit, right? Just try to follow along, right? You pull for DRL Aglaia, you ran out of pulls for Tribi, and you see the anniversary unit, Asterisk. Holy shit, Asterisk clear, guys. That's crazy. There was no such thing as Evernight. There was no such thing as Hyacinth, right? You had access to Casuaries, Gallagher, with the RMC, and like ideally, you go outside of a Tribi, right? So all these low-cost clears with Casuaries back then, fantastic. You clear everything. You don't need none of that, right? You get the DPS. Unfortunately, that was also your last pool. Now you don't have a pool left for Hyacinth because you just put for the rate up, super cool, brand new low-cost DPS that is going to be Casuaries. So you skip Hyacinth because you literally have nothing left. Okay, you have heard that people say that Tribi is really, really with Casuaries. So now you get Tribi on rerun. But you still have no Hyacinth. And all this time, you are struggling to clear with your version 2 team of your Super Break because you didn't get Fuke. Because nowadays, every single version 2 Super Break team that is clearing at least a decent pace, they all have Fuke, right? Every single one of the Super Break team, you probably are going to be running. It's either that or get an E2 Break DPS. It's either one of these two things, right? So you're basically going to be rinsing and repeating. So if you skip Cyrene, because version 4 is going to be coming with new attack, and she's eventually going to fall off, the cycle is just always going to be the same. And you know that whole meme? Not really meme, but like, editorial play the final. It's like cycle after cycle, right? Final tries to prevent Iron Dome. You're trying to prevent this situation from happening, and you're trying to get a call flip. But the heirs back then, they will never ever listen to Final, right? They will never ever listen. Oh my god, why the fuck would I go for vertical investments? Why the fuck would I care about onions? I can just pull for the next version. It's fresh, it's low cost, and over and over and over again. Power creep is gonna fucking kill their account, and you're gonna complain like, what the fuck did this happen to me? I can't even clear anymore. 6 cycle, 7 cycle, I have no HSR, power creep, really stupid, etc. So do you all remember this tweet, right? 1 year ago. It has been 1 year, right? I think it has almost been 1 year, right? This whole power creep and greed and stupid thing, right? I really find it like super ironic that I see the entire cycle repeating itself all over again, and the very same people that will have an issue with this are also the exact same people. They just refuse to do anything outside of pulling that brand new meta, because the next version 4 is always going to be better. Why would you invest in version 3 when you just go ahead and invest in version 4 and it will just keep repeating and repeating, right? So it's the exact same, right? You put a DPS, E0, S0, E0, S0, right? No vertical investments, rate up environment, exceptional. The performance, exceptional. I'm never going to go back to my old version again, right? I'm just going to go for this brand new version DPS. They do very, very good, right? And then you are happy, you ignore your older units, you will never get a vertical investment with your older team because this brand new DPS is doing very, very well without a shield, without a rate up support, without a niche support, as well as with the shield environment. And then you see the vertical support comes in, right? You see either Sarija for Finon, or Hyacinth for Casuaries, or like your Sarija for your Anexa, all these niche support that come in. But you think to yourself, okay, why should I pull for this niche support that only upgrades my one single E0 DPS? Because she can't work with my other teams, right? I would rather pull for a general support. And frankly speaking, I don't even need the vertical investments. I don't even need the niche support because my brand new DPS I just put, they are still performing well, right? The shield environment hadn't fully gone away yet, right? So even without the vertical support, they are still clearing well. So you skip, right? You skip the vertical support. And now they release the next DPS after the shield support. Sorry, the shield environment goes away, the vertical support goes away, and they release the next DPS. At this point, you have two choices, right? You either pull the new DPS with the shield environment because your old DPS without the shield environment and without the vertical support, they can no longer clear, right? It's either that or you suck it up and you play with that cycle penalty because no vertical supports and no shield environment is going to make your old DPS perform worse, right? So at this point, you'll be like, okay, power creep, right? HSR's power creep is crazy because the new DPS is doing better than the old DPS. When the environment is literally made to shield them every single time when the DPS comes out in HSR endgame. It has never changed and it never will. For version 1, 2, 3, it has always been the fucking same and the formula has never ever changed, right? Or you suck it up. You pull for the DPS. Why would you care about vertical supports? We can just pull for the new DPS again and again and again. Because when a DPS comes out, they never come out with the shield supports and environment at the same time, right? The vertical support always come a little bit later. So they sell that E0 DPS for you to have the best possible performance, leading you to think that, why would I invest in vertical stuff when I can just put a new DPS over and over again? So if you rinse and repeat this for the entirety of version 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever the fuck it's gonna be, your entire account is literally just new DPS. E0, low cost, with little to no vertical investments. And every single time I put this DPS, it's fine. Because you can keep up, right? You can always clear any corner with all the new DPS. But at the end of the day, your account is just gonna you have like 8 different DPS from like 3 different versions. Which I think is also why generative support is so important for these group of players. Because if Cyrene doesn't fit this narrative, they will crash the fuck out because your team itself has only 90 by DPS. You want a support that can fit every single one of your DPS because you have never logged in to a single team ever. It's always multiple DPS. Okay, if I'm gonna have all these DPS, why would I pull for a single support that only upgrades one of my DPS when my entire account is literally just DPS? Even though the amount of stellar jades you have spent is the exact same as anyone else that invested in, for example, 6 DPS versus 2 DPS with like 4 other vertical investments. It's literally the exact same market. So this whole entire situation is gonna happen again in version 4. It's literally gonna come, right? Cyrene at this point is like, oh my god, it's war PTSD flashback comes. Version 4 environment comes in, right? Your brand new version 4 DPS comes in. The show environment comes in. But you skip Cyrene. So you can still clear, right? You can still clear, especially in the earlier phases of version 4 or back in version 3. You can still clear your older version 2. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's okay. But then it gets worse, right? It gets worse and worse and worse because they're gonna push the environment way more shield and way more vertical support. All these DPS, they're gonna come out all in version 4. So all this time, while it gets worse, your version 3 team is just dying. Like every single update that gets worse, it's just gonna die and get worse, and you have no high scene for your characters. You have no Cyrene, you have no subject, you have nothing, you have no Avalite, no idols, no bitches, no like nothing. Zero. So what do? Do you cry about power creep? Or do you cry about like some streamer call you green and stupid? Or do you just say, oh fuck me, man, I might as well just take out the wallet, I'm just gonna swipe, right? Let me just pull for the next DPS again and again, because you know my old supports, my old teams, they're all gone, right? HSR power creep is crazy, it's literally unplayable. Why the fuck would I even go for vertical support where I can just keep going up to the new DPS? Which is why, like, for example, right, like Sarah of the league, right? People that want to play version 2 till this day, if you want to cook your Aggron, your Facial, your Super Break, all these version 2, older versions, they can still work as long as you know for a fact you want to place these DPS in the first place, right? You make the relevant vertical supports. You don't have to keep pulling all these version 3 things if you don't want to. You can still make them work. Are they gonna be the best in slot? Fuck no, right? There's no way a version 2 team will perform better or even the same as a version 3 team. Just like how there's no fucking way a version 3 team is gonna perform better or the same as a version 4 team. It is the same cycle over and over and over and over again. And at this point, the new DPS for all of the casuals and the free-to-plays is like, you are gonna get to a point where you lose. Which is where the meme came from, right? Like, of course, we are free to play, right? We are free to play. We lose all our 50-50s. We have no items, no Litecoins, no relics, no everything investment, everything. We are the absolute worst mistreated players in HSR because my account is just shit and I can't afford anything anymore. And HSR is just absolutely literally unplayable his race because I only do nothing but just keep chasing meta and chase meta and chase and do nothing but chase meta, right? And at this point in the video, I really am, bro. After everything that's been said about me, from like all these sentiments from my YouTube, Reddit, whatever it's gonna be, I'm trying so hard to literally unbrick the casual free to play, not just casual and not just free, the casual free to play account. Because if you're not free to play, you can solve a problem with money. If you're not casual, you can just play the game and learn how like these kind of investments work, right? So if you're both a casual free to play, then you probably need somebody like MrPokke to kind of just tell you like how exactly pooling units work in HSR, because the formula is the exact same across the different versions, and Cyrene is not going to change that. Time and time again, you pool for multiple DPS in the same version, despite you technically only really just need 2 teams, maybe 3 teams for content that doesn't even give you strategies. You skip all of your vertical investments, then why would you even pull for any niche characters, right? Just run Tribi, Bubbin, or Run A, and they can then just make them work, right? Because they are generally supports. They will work with a lot of different DPS. When only a niche support could work with like 1 or 2 of a single DPS, especially if you play like cross version 2 and version 3, right? So this same shit, if you want to think about it, it kind of happened for Cyrene as well, right? Cyrene was also pre-Doom post. Oh my god, she's so niche. She only works with Final, maybe a next and Archer, right? Why the f would you even pull Cyrene when she's this niche? Nobody's gonna work with Cyrene next time in the future, right? Who the f care about this shit when it doesn't work with Akron, doesn't work with Phase Out, doesn't work with version 2, doesn't work with like nobody should be pulling for Cyrene. And turns out anybody that has the best performance with like either Final or whatever it's be, they always had Cyrene because that's like her role, right? That is like her intention, her existence, her function as a unit is to fit into all these different archetypes to make them perform the best of their capabilities, right? So at this point in time, I would say it's very tiring, right? It's really very tiring because I don't think I've touched on like war, drama, all this kind of stuff. Like this is like one of the first few times since this whole Cyrene thing has happened that I need to talk about this, because the sentiments over, okay, you know what? The niche support thing, whether or not this unit carries into version 4, I just hope that people can eventually just understand, chasing meta in HSR, it will never get you anywhere. Because the meta is just gonna be the next version. Like, no way, right? Oh my god, the next version is the meta. But you cannot refund, bro. I'm really gonna cry, bro. You cannot refund the amount of money that you have spent in the old versions. Alright, your version 4 units is obviously gonna do better in version 4, but if you are gonna be going to the same sentiment that you only want the best performing version units, then what about all those strategies that you spent in version 3, as well as the vertical event that you skipped? Because you're just gonna end up with an account that can't do nothing, and you're almost like kind of forced, because your mindset is, what is the best way in the short term to get the best performances for my account in this current setup? So, I really just hope that as I just end off this video, right, the HSR, not everyone, once again, really not everyone, there are a lot of supports for my content, for my channel, for my streams, right? I think people that actually understand the game, they would tend to agree with me, and like what I'm saying, but I just really hope that there are less stigma or like ignorance for players that do decide that, okay, free to play can actually get items. Free to play can make vertical investments. You don't have to keep playing with all these different rate up DPS. You don't have to keep refreshing and get the best team every single time. It isn't necessary, right? Chasing for a, oh my god, and the fucking free to play 0 cycle. Chasing a 0 cycle, if you clear in 0 cycle and clear 1 cycle, it legitimately doesn't change anything. And if you continue on this path, right, I just think that the space will be worse, because it will normalize players only looking to get the best functioning performance of a unit at E0. And guess what? The best functioning performance of a unit at E0 is always gonna be the new unit, right? It will never be anything else. It will legitimately never be anything else. That is literally how Hoyoshill will get to spend even more money. Because if you just keep chasing all the E0s time and time again, Why the f would anyone even care about vertical investment? You can just keep chasing, right? Just chase and just swipe more, just spend more, just pull more. When if you really think about it, right, MrPokke is literally trying to get you to spend less money on this fucking game, because if you do go for the vertical investments and you lock the fucking for like 2 to 3 teams, you will never ever think about, okay, you know what, I'm gonna pull every single DPS and all the vertical investments, because you already have your DPS, you have your vertical archetypes, right? So this whole sentiment where I'm getting shelled to sell this unit is anything but. You would literally spend less pulls on this game if you can just lock the in and play this unit and be okay with the fact that, okay, you know what, their performance is not going to be as good cost to cost wise at a brand new version. And I think that needs to be normalized. And people that want to go for vertical investments, they need to stop getting shamed. Because so what if they don't want to play the brand new DPS? So what if you, okay, you know what, I'm going to skip Casters. I'm going to skip Final. I want to main Aglaya, right? Even though Aglaya is not really the... So what? The Aglaya main that went for all the vertical mains for Aglaya. Because if you are going to be maining Aglaya, there's no fucking way you will pull Casters as well. If you main Aglaya, you wouldn't pull Final. You wouldn't pull Casters. You will only lock the fuck in for that one team. I'm just using Aglaya as an example. But those mains that you really want to lock into that one team, you give them the vertical investments. Cost to cost is the exact same cost, even if Aglaya is not as rated up, but it's the same amount of money you spend on this game, right? And if you go into the long run, the one that always stays with that, it will always tend to come out higher. For example, Aggron, right? If you want to like main Aggron, is Aggron the best performing DPS right now? No, right? Aggron is nowhere near the best. If Super right? Super is literally the worst performing. But if you were to stick with Super if you were to stick with Aggron, there's no you will spend all the pools on Castris. You wouldn't spend pools on Castris team. You wouldn't spend pools on Final team. The entire version 3 will have zero relevance because you are still sticking with whatever team you want to be sticking in version 2. So now you have saved up, right? You saved up all these money, all these pools, all these strategies. You have literally spent less money in HSR than somebody that's just constantly chasing meta. So I don't understand why this sentiments are like MrPokke is shitting for like HSR. It doesn't make fucking sense, right? And I'm gonna lose my voice. I just kind of want to just show one last example of you. This example, right? It is one guy, but it is an example of somebody that will always say things no matter what you do, right? So advanced machine from Mr. Reddit. Bro is like replying to every single comment under the station as long as like MrPokke is like the worst fucking human being ever because, you know, he's just the worst, right? Mr. Clown dressed to impress because he's shooting with Dawei. MrPokke is so arrogant, it's vomit inducing, but you can understand why his channel is becoming haters to perform. He's only can't carry everything. So why is just an unfortunate, oh my god, that's insane chat. Some of the few massive Mr. Clown fans and it shows looking through the video, it was easy extending a great go by the group graph and Cyrene and the group related to teams. They are, I can see from haters creating so like I kind of have to deal with these kind of people as long as I do content creation, right? And Cyrene is just the last straw, right? Cyrene is oh my god, this is a terrible time for a raid. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna end this video. I'm just gonna end it, but I'm basically being I'm aggressively passionate about Honkai Star right now, but Cyrene won't be the first, and it certainly won't be the last of the way your HSR meta is going to shift from version 3 to version 4, right? Chasing meta will never get you anywhere. And if you do look at it from a bigger picture, you can see whether or not Cyrene gives value to your
the final piece of the puzzle, E2.
If you do not want to invest in version 3 anymore because you want to chase the version 4 meta, right? If you want to chase the version 4 meta, skip Cyrene. Cyrene ain't gonna do nothing for version 4, especially if they're not Kratos, right? Whatever it's gonna be. But just come to terms, if there are players that still want to play version 3, they want to bring version 3 into version 4, despite version 3 not gonna be the main meta anymore, because surprise, surprise, version 4 meta is gonna be version 4 units, then understand Cyrene is gonna be a good pool for your account. Because these are the same players that are going to last in through a long game, right? They're not going to be putting for every single fuck shit easy DPS that comes out with barely any show environment, and they will make it work, and they will be spending less pools than the fella that always pools for meta, E0, zero cycle, free to play zero cycle, free to play casuals, whatever it's going to be, right? So, what are they? It's going to be unofficial husband. Let me know what guys in the comments below. All the best for gacha pools. Use code for 10% off gamers clubs. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.